Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. Bounty 19 upcoming. Embers of Rage is just past us. And we got new ships. Yay, yay, yay. So we'll talk about that and our new FM stuff, which is all PvP. And I wish we knew more about what was happening next week. But let me go ahead and introduce everybody from left to right. Magic Mike.
Hi, go ships.
Okay. High Lord.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing?
Oh, just dandy. And Father George.
Evening, everybody.
And let's start with the slides because unless anybody has anything you want to start with, because we'll
Yeah, you
talk
didn't
about the
you didn't
raid.
tell us who you were, you bastard.
Oh, this is Hefe.
There you go.
So we'll start with the slides. I'll put Mike on present. Bug fixes. They've spent a lot of effort, it appears, over the last month since the last bounty to prevent the lag fest that we went through. And also, I hear another one of the fixes that's going on is the fact that in the last raid and the raid or the last bounty and the bounty before, you would find an opponent's or replica base with the same level but multiple different payouts, forcing all the players to push the info button to see what the potential payout was. So hopefully all that will be worked out. So, any thoughts on that one?
I just want to know if you have a high-res image of that, because I have a friend of mine that's got a bug that looks almost exactly like that. He would love that. Anyway.
And then the other one, I messaged the QA lead, and I'm still not sure what the wrong message in the FM Prize store when purchasing items that have a separate timer means. That can mean a couple of different things. Anybody have any clues, or should we just move on? She was doing a great job adding pictures, making it more informative, but that one I don't really know. All right. Here's our mini calendar for March. The Embers of Rage has passed for sectors 1 and 2, or worlds Alpha and Beta. The other two will pass in the next 2 hours. March 20th, Bounty begins.
What calendar?
And then VXP weekend starts this upcoming Friday. There has not been any word associated of elongating that or extending it because we missed a day of build time because of the push and the start of the raid. So I'm not sure how well they plan these things out. They're like, oh, everybody has X number of build days. Well, we lost one, and I haven't seen any remedy yet. So that's sort of last I asked, there's been no changes, no word as far on the timeline as far as a second VXP weekend. So at this point, it just appears to be lost. That day of build time prior to VXP weekend.
Yay!
So, wait. Wait, I guess I needed to update the mini calendar again. Bounty doesn't start till tomorrow. So I guess that one got pushed too. So sorry about that. So March 21st for Bounty 19 and the Forsaken mission. And then next week, which I think we'll talk a little bit more when we get into our builds. I asked Chris today if we got a name for the special event next week. And some people are thinking it's St. Patrick's Day related, even though that's already passed. So this will be 10 days after St. Patrick's Day. The only thing that's close is the Brexit deadline is March 29th. So at this point, we're just going to refer to it as Brexit Palooza. Even though more likely it's either going to be St. Patrick's Day or April Fool's Day related. And as we'll talk about The FM prizes are all PvP related. There's a lot of tech needs associated with our Saturns and Nemesis X's. And during Crampopolis that occurred in, December at the beginning of the Siege raid cycle, that's where we got our tech. We got our flagship, we got our armor, we got a lot of tech associated with our Siege tech cycle at that point in time. So if I were you, and we'll talk about this again later, I wouldn't start slapping on random armors until we see the prize list for that one. Thoughts, anybody?
Last raid cycle we got stuff. What, like late the next month? We got it in the second month. I mean, I don't know. I don't know at this point. I'm just
because we don't have the equivalent of the folded ferrite at this point. We got the really expensive limited one resistance armors for
which don't do as well.
Yeah. And they, at this point, it would have cost you, and you couldn't even do it because there were 4 million each. There was a quadruple increase in price relative to the last time they were released in a December raid. I don't think that's the answer. We have the old armors that we got that are 1818, but they have a 22-minute repair time per. And that's going to add an hour and a half of repair time per ship once it's kitted out. So I would wait and put some of your specials on whatever you feel is safe, but I would wait to put the armors on until you see what this prize list is, because I don't think our armor is out there yet. And we also have the combo charged armor out there, but I don't think it's going to really interfere with people's builds to wait till the armor at that point. But, do what you want. So, all right. If we don't have anything else on this, let's move on to the raid. How did everybody's raid go?
Yeah, I think I got like 49 million.
Cool.
Yeah, I did like that, like 45 or something, 47. I don't remember. It was like 50, but it's more than I needed.
Yeah.
But I was prepping a little bit towards the end.
Don't know what I got, but I got everything I wanted. In terms of the number, I can't see it. So
Yeah, it was. I did well. I did, as well as I paid attention to. I was able to eventually get the. I put the demo squad on once. I was mainly hitting 104s, and I think my best time, I had a bunch in the 6-minute range for hitting the 104s with my ERADs. I think my best time was 6 minutes, 12 seconds. Otherwise, it was like high 7s, low 8s if I was just using a steelhead. So as far as repair on my build, it wasn't all that bad. It was just a matter of grinding it out, because I wouldn't get the bonus with the 104s, and I have a ton of radioactive batteries at this point, enough to equip about 4 or 5 fleets.
yeah, I stuck to the 104s myself, and
Okay.
the best times I was getting was 28 minutes, and I didn't use a crew obviously, and I just went back and fixed it and went back out and hit another one.
You're crazy,
We have
Mike. You're
got
crazy.
to
You
get
got like
you-
15. He's got like 10 demos, like 20 grease monkeys.
Yeah, you got to start
But-
using your crews,
yeah.
man. You really do.
I know. I do it.
The guy's
I do
sitting
it
on
the
like
last thing at
3,000
night.
gold.
I do it the last thing at night because I don't like to wait around. So I like to get, I'll wait 10 or 15 minutes and use the hydrants and go out and do 60 sets for a couple, and then the main fleet's ready. Go hit another 104 and rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
So for that style, I'm just throwing away crew time.
Well, except for you
And it
could.
didn't save me that much, to be honest.
Okay. It saves a significant amount, especially if you are
With Mike driving?
Mm, maybe even more.
Remember we tried that? Well, okay.
Yeah. Well, I remember you're driving, but it
What are
was.
you trying to say, FA?
It was like we were trying to do an experiment to figure out how much better the change in his build was, and we had to go through what 9-10 hits,
Yeah, it was all too.
and we couldn't find anything that was close to replicable over his first hit. That was, it was
good.
yeah. Yeah, that wasn't working out well. All of a sudden, the ships decided to go where they wanted to go.
That would have been pretty good to stream because everybody would have got a pretty good laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There they go. They're taking off again.
There they go again.
Yep. So I assume you were autoing, or what were you doing, George? You were using the ERADs, or you were using the
ERADs, and I was autoing the shit out of them.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Good times. Good times.
Mm-hmm. And High Lord, did you have I'm gonna have probably I'll be able to finish building my Shrikes during VXP weekend, since I won't be able to work on my assault cycle hauls. So those will be there, but I won't have any experience really using them until I guess we see them in a TLC, which is probably not optimal. But Hyler, were you using ERADs, or you were using a combination, or?
No, I was using the ERADs. I still only have 3 Shrikes, and they're not even done. And but I was using the Eradicators and just auto and shit. And when I prepped, I would have to drive, which sucked, but but that was all right. I only did a little bit of prepping for one guy.
Okay. Alrighty. Anybody else have any thoughts on the raid of? I guess it would probably give most people a chance, even if they weren't really active in Bounty, to fill up on Transformers.
Oh, well, there's only 2 there, but it was nice that they were there.
Yeah, because we were able to get them, and was it just in Bounties before, or was there another way to get them?
Some people they won them, but that was just an additional one. But yeah, I think it was just Bounty.
Okay.
The raid wasn't that bad.
Yeah. And we discussed before, George, you were going Saturn all the way. And High Lord, what did you end up getting?
I went on NIMX. I want to drive. I'm tired of the scatter guns because I had them on my Manticores and I used them for 5 or 6 months, and I can't do that again. Plus, the keelhole effect on the Nemesis. I don't see how that's going to work on the autoing with the Saturns. And I like the mine layer at upgrade 2.
Okay. And have you? I guess there's a couple things we ought to say about upgrade 2. Number one, they are going to put a limit. I'm not sure if it's going to happen today during the update. That the Manicore CICs, even though there's no reason, if you look at them, that they can't be used on the Saturn, they are not going to be allowed to be used on the Saturn. Because the Savage is going to be something on those if it was allowed. It's because it's like plus 60 corrosive defense, plus 30 penetrative, and then plus 30 corrosive damage. And the only negative was negative 10 penetrative range, but that doesn't matter on the Savage. So it would have been a beast on there. But all of the Manicore ones, you wouldn't have been able to use the special abilities, but they're going to make them illegal to be used on the Saturn. Besides fucker, any other words on that, George? Because then I can explain the other U2.
The douchebaggery? I don't know. No, I'll let you go.
Okay.
I'm just not.
Okay. All right. There's a mine layer on the Nemesis X, and it basically allows you to set up sort of a wall and then drag people into it. You can drive your Nemesis X along to a certain location, stop. I'm assuming you're outside of being fired at. Stop, drop a mine, stop again, drop a mine, and whatever the limit of the number of mines is. There's no health cost associated with these like drones. So these are free to drop. You're not going to be taking damage from this. And they'll last for 20 seconds. And then the idea would be to try to drive them through, lure the enemy ships through your line of mines is the idea behind it. So, I don't know. Anybody else have anything on those upgrades?
I don't know much about it, but did you say we can drop them? So we're gonna physically be able to like release a mine, or is it like a time thing?
I think you have to stop in order to do it. So there could be this situation like whenever you stop for a couple seconds, you're going to start dropping mines.
Oh, okay, that's I understand. I was gonna say, how the hell are they gonna pull that off?
And this is the hull that you have to go in and out of the fog banks, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be dropping mines in the fog banks where the other ships aren't even gonna chase you in. That's great. Yeah, good mechanic.
Well, unless you've already dropped them all, because there's a limit. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see it in action. As we've all complained before, the amount of information that we get prior to making these decisions is less than optimal. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like definitely much more of a skill haul. So
Sounds
I
like
don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sounds like a headache.
Yeah.
I've always liked the skill hole, but if I got to hide inside of clouds and also try and time dropping mines,
well, it might be an option because you might not have to hide on them because remember you have that slowdown cryo field of negative 15% that stacks up to 5. You might be able to just kite them out, and that's just an emergency place to go.
Well, there is one of the enemy hulls will chase you into the fog bank.
Yes, that's true. Not the Fang Tooth, but I forget which. Is it the Fang Tooth?
Is the Scout? It was the Scout, right?
Scout's not one of the names.
The shit. Not the Dagger Tooth.
It might have been the Dagger.
One? Viperfish.
Viperfish. Okay, yeah, Viperfish. That sounds right.
A little dinky one that they use as a Scout. I don't know that one of the holes though. There is finally a benefit in one of the holes that I like, and that's the fact that you don't have to have all of them in order to max out your bonuses.
But what I just talked about. Yeah, but what I just talked about, and I think that's going to translate into defense as far as that cryo field, slowing them down and keeping them at kiting range. So, again, nobody's seen the targets, so I don't know if that's true, but that's the way I sort of read it. But it makes it worse from the other perspective. You can't just park a blank in the corner and get the bonuses. You have to be moving with
together. Yeah, and same with the other one too. The Saturn's the same way. You have to be in the field to get the stack, which really is annoying. The other thing, did anyone notice that when they had let out the notes, everyone but the Ghost Crawler said that the sub can fire when submerged, but it'll surface when you get close to it or approached. But they didn't list that for the Ghost Crawler, and I'm wondering if the Ghost Crawler stays under and how that's going to work with both of the hulls and stuff too. It's gonna be interesting.
I asked a question. Wrong Thinker, he didn't specify, but he said that when they engage, they can fire, but when engaged, the subs will all surface. Because if you think about it, the Saturn has nominal sonar, but it doesn't have a weapon that hits underwater.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
And then, because there's no submerged damage on that scatter gun.
Yeah, but and then if you say that it can go toe to toe with the Ghost Crawler, so I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, and then the Nemesis has no sonar, but would be able to hit submerged targets as long as it has retargeting on it, which is not part of the hull or the weapon. So you would need to choose the appropriate special in order to to have something that would hit something underwater. But like I said, I don't think it's needed. So yes, there are other scatter guns. Actually, all the other scatter guns will hit underwater. But it would be a weird game design to require us to put on, tier 6 scatter guns in order to hit this target. Again, it's I think it harkens back to the fact that we don't really have enough information to make these decisions, because I still don't know how to build it even after we've chosen it. So at least we did get the information on the upgrades, because as I discussed last week or the week before, I was disappointed in the line they took with the upgrades associated with the Eradicator and the Shrike, and the fact that they they provide us a tanky flag, or it appeared to be a tanky flag, until the point in time that they put the upgrade 2 out, which allowed you to put on another armor slot, which gave you the same amount of resistances, but additional armor with only 1 additional second of repair time. So at least they've let us know what the path forward is, and it doesn't appear to usurp anything at this point in time.
Yeah, but we know that's coming, and they're already squeezing us on the builds. I mean, we're already squeezed to get a fleet done. It's impossible now to get your fleet ready by the next raid if you're not coining. And then add to the fact now that you can't do any of the tricks we've done in past raids, where you could just, crank out 2 or 3 full holes and then have a couple bare ones sitting in the corner, to get that final set of bonuses. We can't even do that this raid series now, because they've all got to be able to stack together in order to get those bonuses.
Yeah, and we can't build a CM ship either. So
yeah, we can't build a CM ship. So we're really, Kickside's squeezing us hard.
Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up that we brought up on the pre-show is the fact that we only have the 2 countermeasure slots, which you guys mentioned. But the fact is, I wanted to bring up during the show, is the fact that there's unless you mouse over those slots, there's nothing differentiating them from the rest of the slots. So it's really easy for a lot of players, like, okay, I'm just going to put a missile up here in the upper right-hand corner. And, now I lost my countermeasure slot. And I've also lost the associated resistances that go with that. They ought to just change the color. If it's countermeasure only, or if it's only standard weapon types, have it be green. But if it's both, make it orange, or just change the color like you see with some of the other ones, like Submerged and whatnot. It's it would make it would be a lot player friendlier, I think. So okay. Anybody else think of anything as far as this set of the upcoming assault cycle ships?
No, there's, like you said, there's no information. It's fucking pretty much bullshit.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, if we're done with that, I can't think of anything. Oh, the other thing is, if you own the Nemesis X, you have built in with the special that came with it that provides critical chance, critical damage, and it also provides anti-missile accuracy and range. Those aren't necessarily the best ones for anti-missile and anti-missile. So I would at least take a look at some of the other ones available. And see what you think as far as whatever strategy you want to use as far as building your ships. Because there's other ones out there that have better range or better accuracy, or, there's something that could do a little bit better, but you're going to lose other things, and figure out what the trade-offs are going to be. So.
Yeah, you're right on that. And that's kind of pretty much what I've noticed with all the new crit specials. They all fucking blow, and we barely ever use them.
Yeah, I use them. I mean, what was your? Did you ever drive the E-Rads?
Yeah. No, I drove them when I was prepping because I had to make sure I lift the tower or something, so I had to go around.
Okay,
And
I have 4 of them on mine,
yeah.
and like I said, I was hitting the 104s for 6 minutes 12 seconds, 6 minutes 20 seconds on the map,
No,
not
that's
in the because I was getting like 18 seconds.
yeah. I mean, that's
So,
really good, but you didn't do any real targets. I would have been nice if you would have hit a 110 and a 108.
there was no reason. I didn't have strikes to complete it out. I mean, there was no reason for me.
Well,
I mean, they were
nice.
real targets.
To
It was
get
last
to get
month's targets, but
just mean
they
to
still
get
give
a
you the same
time.
amount of
But you
points.
didn't. But you didn't need strikes to finish it out. Throw a
No,
demo.
you didn't.
Throw a
If
demo
I
squad
got
on your
18
E-Rads.
okay, go ahead.
I mean, well, I understand what you're saying. 18 seconds in the 104. Yeah, that's instant repair. So yeah.
There was no reason for me to hit them, so I didn't bother. There was no reason for me to do it.
No, I agree with you. It just would have been nice if you had hit one just to get a time, to know. Okay, well, this was that.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to optimize things.
Do it for the community, you bastard.
Yeah,
yes,
cheap fucker. I'm just joking.
Okay. Alrighty. Should we move on? See what's next? All right. This harkens back to a little bit what Dr. Death said. We see this cycle. Sometimes they'll add a cycle 4 in there and they don't tell us. But should we assume that the raid's going to start April 17th? I don't know. I mean, it would be nice to know. So we can figure out, do we even have a shot of putting a 4th one in there?
Sure would be nice.
Yep. To know. I mean, I don't know if they don't decide until later on, but it'd be great to know as soon as it's available. Because at this point in time, people are deciding, do I want to build 3? Do I want to build 4 for VXP weekend? Because if you don't get them in there for VXP weekend, you might as well not have them.
I'm a betting man, and I'm gonna say we're gonna see the raid on the 10th, not the 17th.
Oh yeah, the 10th. I'm sorry. Yeah, the 10th. Yeah. Which seems really not that far away.
We're just
Wednesday, not rather than the Thursday.
It's been starting on Wednesdays. The only reason it's started on this,
So it's the Facebook meltdown.
Yeah, the Facebook meltdown.
Usually it's the week that has the full week, the first week of the month that has a full week. Did I say that right? So I would bet on what you said, the 10th.
Yeah. What happened to the raid in the first week? They've gone off of that for a while. So, yeah. The FM isn't going to be changing until like June or May or June. So whatever you picked, your Saturn or your Nemesis, once this cycle is done with that, then those become FM targets. The last time we were updated on this, it's not next week or anything like that.
So essentially we're using the same targets for 3 months of raid and then 3 months of FM plus all the TLCs that come out. Oh yeah, we didn't get burnt out last time we had this kind of crap.
Yeah. It's
well, we're coming off think about it. We're coming off a 6-day raid, and then what? We've got Bounty, we've got FM, we've got VXP. How many fucking TLCs?
Yeah, well, one doesn't use your ships. One's a mega one, and then the other ones are using that aren't really necessary. We'll get to those because no,
I'm not talking about what it's using. I'm just talking about pressure on the community to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're in some serious overload here on things that have to be done. When are we supposed to just actually go out and play the game and have fun?
I don't know. Don't know, but yeah, April 10th is a possibility. But it'd be nice to know. get updated on this kind of stuff. Yeah, and Ben's reminding us after that FM type, then it becomes the FM. It becomes map targets for
A
advanced
resource.
res.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. All right. Here's our first FM prize. It's basically a improved siege battery only for Conquerors. You get your bonus combat and turn speed and building damage, and the update hasn't happened, so I don't know what the build time is on this one. So, but it's going to automatically. I guess people stop putting siege battery on because you get a base of 40 or 45% with your Conquerors now, as far as turret defense.
Correct.
And once you add this on, it's not additive. It's just, this is what the total is. Hence the lack of a plus button in front of or plus sign in front of the 50%. That's the maximum you're going to achieve.
Yeah, it's going to take the highest value, like the UAV range thingy with that absolutely useless 2 crews that we have still sitting in the crew rotation.
Yeah, and they still break those rules as far as, because they have it with the critical damage, which is confusing. Unless you take a good look at the turret specials for the what are they called? For the cannons, the ballistic ones. Because I'm sure at this point, because some of them have plus 25%, so they're not even considering their critical, because this is a critical that's less than double damage. Like if you do the lowest level of electromagnetic, whatever, EM rails. The lower level ones are actually less than a normal critical hit. So it's whatever. I mean, it's,
What do you mean?
We'll take a look at like EM Rails 1. I think it's plus 25% critical damage.
Oh yeah. Because they have the third one is the double damage for a critical hit.
Mm-hmm.
Because
before we were always told critical hits are double damage, and
right.
Then
and that's because they never clarified a couple of those things with the plus. 100% was really just 100%, not up to 3. It was a mess.
Yeah,
so they went back and corrected that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next one. Okay, we got a PvP cannon special, sort of a combination of hardened barrels with autoloader to a certain extent. Conqueror and Defender. Ballistic range, ballistic reload. Way lighter than what those would be to put on, those old school specials to put on at this point. But
don't we have one that already combined them though? I can't remember what they are though.
Like cannon system?
Yeah. I don't even know what the hell cannon system does anymore.
I think a cannon system, isn't that range and damage?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's range and damage.
And splash on some of them, I think.
Yep. What's the deal with this special? As in, like, why the fuck is it made, and why are we seeing it now? Like, we're almost pretty much done with breachers, and now they bring this.
I don't think we're done with breachers. Breachers are the best ones out there now.
I'm just saying, like, they're already built in, and now you got to like rip shit off because it's doing reload and range.
Well, they're probably trying to keep them in line with the next couple tier 8 hulls that are tier 9 hulls. What the fuck we're on now that are coming out?
Yeah, the bigger question: why is this tier 7.5? I mean, we're at tier 8 hulls.
Reasons.
Yes, because we're gonna get a tier 8 one. So okay, all right, and I think High Lord is gonna have the same thing to say about this next one. Yeah, you can go to the next one, Mike.
Trying to wait.
All right, this doesn't appear to be that. Okay, keep on going back and forth. Okay, this one, you're in a good spot. This one doesn't appear to be all that great until we see what it stacks with. Roaring Barrel system has the same multi-shot, has 20% less reload, but plus 30% corrosive damage, and the bonus combat speed. But this does not stack with Roaring Barrel systems. Does not stack with compressed corrosive canisters, which adds more corrosive damage and splash and things like that. That's why I don't even have Roaring Barrel systems on my. I don't have it on my breacher at this point. My scatter breacher, because it doesn't stack. I went with scatter system because then I could put the compressed canister system on it. But the corrosive diffusion system doesn't have any corrosive damage increase. So I think you're going to be able to stack it with that and see a better increase in overall damage. Thoughts? Again, we're not seeing the update until another 2.5, 3 hours. So I don't have the chance to see what it stacks with.
I think they're coming. We're getting ready to get the breacher upgrade, right?
Yes.
I think that's why this stuff's dropping.
No, we're getting we got the breacher upgrade TLC. We already had the opportunity to upgrade that one. We got for free and in the last bounty. We're about to get the Basilisk upgrade in the bounty.
Okay.
So that's sort of unrelated, but yeah, because everybody uses the scattergun breacher in their their guard, not in their unless people have figured out a good way to use it, because it doesn't go through walls. It chews through it slowly chews through buildings and whatnot. It's not not nearly as effective as the Arbalest 2. So thoughts on this one, anybody? Okay.
Oh, I forgot what PvP is at this point.
Okay. Oh, Bounty 19. Guys didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off, but I did. So,
good job.
Begins Thursday. The store opens Friday, ends Tuesday, and it has the leaderboard payout, which everybody loving the fact that we keep on having a leaderboard, even though leaderboard gets fucked up every single time and it causes more problems than than it should. So I don't know. Any thoughts on just Bounty 19 in general before we get to the prizes? And were you surprised I was able to find a Bounty 19?
I'm shaking my head about that one.
Yep.
Okay. So, all righty, let's move on.
Hey, can I cut in real quick on one thing though? Because all this is dealing with the update. Ain't it kind of, they put out that message that the update is coming out broken. So why are we releasing the update if it's broken?
The only thing that's broken, and I guess we can get into that, is that for certain people, we're not sure who those certain people are. This is going to make the app, the phone app, not work anymore. At least temporarily, not work. So I don't know. It would have been nice if, if you're an Apple user, it's not going to work, or you're, a Droid user, or if you live in this country, it's not going to work. We don't know. Maybe
no. But here's where I'm leading at. Okay. Here. Let me get my tinfoil hat on because this I can throw out here. Okay. We've been complaining for over a year now that every one of the updates is coming out with something broke in it, and they're not catching it. But now I'm starting to wonder if they didn't already know about the problems and have just been letting them go. Because they want the events to run on time, make certain they make that bottom line. So even if it's broke, we're going to push it out, and we'll try and find a hot fix later for it. Because that's pretty much what they're saying they're doing with this. And we've seen a lot of bad stuff come out of these updates in the last year. It has been bad.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I think a lot of people have actually left the game due to what they see as poor quality. So I don't know if they do it intentionally. What the question that I might ask is, do they give themselves enough lead time in order to get things, out and done properly? Did they lose lead time because they did things like the read factor and what the defense rating system, things that they're doing now that are sucking up resources that don't allow them to get the lead time proper, in proper perspective to what they should be doing, as far as getting the game that, things that players want out on time and done correctly. I don't know the answer to those questions, but that's more the question than, and as opposed to like, oh, they're intentionally throwing stuff out that's fucked up.
I think they're testing it. I really do think they test the stuff. But I think when they find things broken, they have to look at it and they say, okay, well, we're going to send it out anyways. And because we want the event to run so that we get that money. And we'll try and figure out a fix for it later if we can. I mean, I think that's the way that the company has gone here lately because it's just been too much.
Quality. Well, it's not even so much the bottom line is I think there's a lot of players pushing them at certain levels that like they want to see new stuff. They want things to progress. They want to have something exciting, and that's what they feel as opposed to. Because I remember a while ago, it was been over a year since the big push from the player base is, don't release something unless it's right. And it's been over a year since I've seen people on the forum or whatnot really push for that, like just delay it a week. We don't really see that mentality in the forums or elsewhere anymore. We used to see it a lot, but not so much anymore. It's just sort of like, okay, just get it, we want to see new things, shiny things that make our eyes dazzle. I don't know. You could be right though. So, let me. We got sort of 3 new prizes, and then the Basilisk thing. We get a downburst heavy cannon at 10K, which we'll talk about more, and then a damage specific deflection plate. 1 for concussive, 1 for corrosive, also 10K. The Basilisk upgrade kit, which you get 100, or upgrade kits. You get 100. As I recall, it takes 200 kits to upgrade PvP stuff, and you get and how many days? Is like 11 days.
Yeah.
And you can earn up to 3 of those tokens. So yeah, you're left with like 8 days in the lurch. You can also still get the first some of the older heavy turrets for 7.5. You can't get the new the heavy launchers there, the Thunderlord, the Stormbringer. The HT transformers are still 10K. You can also still get the penetrative. I think that one's cheaper. I'm not seeing it. Okay, it's covered up on my screen. Is it still 7.5K, as I recall?
I can't move that.
It's under Tempest Heavy Launcher. Oh yeah, 7.5K. Okay, so that's become a little bit cheaper from last bounty. So okay, let's move on. And again, the bounty store prize list has gotten huge. It used to be like 10 things, and now it's up to 75. So now we got the older stuff, and we got some Conqueror tokens and Defender tokens for three each. So all right, let's go on. Let's see what else we have.
Oh my gosh.
All right, downburst heavy cannon, long range, 30% or 30-degree firing arc.
Sorry.
You like we talked about before, you can equip specials to double that damage by itself. You can add 85% damage with just one single special. So it appears that it could be quite fearsome within that, and it is an accuracy-based weapon. It appears it could be quite fearsome, even at long range, 400 range.
Yeah, it's going to be nasty, I think, if it's placed right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And there's also the possibility that it could potentially be used by the other side to create the the berserk associated with the Howler. I'm not sure how that would work, but it is an interesting weapon. It's I'm not planning to join Bounty right at the start, but this is the only thing I really plan to get. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Very similar to the penetrative, concussive plate armor, 10K, allows you to more customize your ships. All right, let's see the next one. Corrosive, a little bit less, but very similar. So, all right. Any thoughts on any of these new prizes? Oh, we still got one more. Let's go to the next one. The Basilisk upgrade increases damage by 10,000, reload time by negative 10 seconds, and firing angle increase of 10%, or 10 degrees. I'm sorry. Keep on saying percent there. This only applies to the built-in Basilisk hardpoint mortar. So damage goes from 80K to 90K. Reload time goes from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. Firing angle goes from 20 to 30. It seems like a nice to have, not a need to have.
Yeah.
So it's going to cost you 20,000 just in the kits, and then I forget. And it's going to take a long time to upgrade. So it's sort of a nice to
11
have.
days, and you can't use any ship build tokens for it. So
Yeah, it's gold or the upgrade tokens. So
you got to decide if you really want to tie your yard up for that long.
Yeah. And you can only do these in the Conqueror yard, the Conquest yard.
Yep.
So, alrighty, let's move on unless anybody has anything on this one. All right, Beyond the Breach TLC. There's also another Breacher TLC. This one allows you to get the Breacher upgrade kits and tokens. It basically converts at this point in time. Going to U1 basically converts this over to the potential of being a corrosive ship. I'm more and more thinking that this is also the amount of tokens and kits that have come out, that there might be a U2 coming out that does something else. So you need to do U1 in order to get to U2, even though U1 may not be that exciting to you. I mean, that's the way I'm thinking with the number, So this mastery pack, we have 120, and then we have another 90 added on to it. So we got 210. What's already been released, it just feels like Q2 is around the corner. So all right. Any thoughts on Beyond the Breach? Because I didn't really cover the other TLCs because there are older ones.
Oh, not until I see it.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's the end of the slides. Is there one more, Mike? Or yep. All right. Well, I'll take you off present, Mike. And I'll see if anybody'd like to join for the after show or whatnot. I need to get another beer. It's been 53 minutes. Whoops. Why is it not letting me post to my own? Huh. Not sure why this is happening. So does anybody have anything else they'd like to say? I'm trying to post the link, but keeps on telling me I have a error when I try to post to YouTube chat, even though I can read what everybody else is saying. Sign into chat. How did I get signed out of this? This is fascinating.
Let's see here. We thought you were the one running this.
Yeah, it appears. Yeah, it is. It's quite something. Somehow, in the middle of the show, I got signed out of YouTube, and
Let's see if I can do it.
So Discord's been kind of getting dead here lately.
I don't know if dead, but yeah. Well, I got trolled over, and then now it's people are afraid to post on it anymore. Let's see.
Oh yeah, because the banhammer drops if you say anything that they don't agree with.
Yeah, well, let's see. One last time. There we go. Still trying to figure out how I got signed out of YouTube in the middle of the show.
We did it at the same time. Sorry.
Okay, it's all good. So if you guys have anything to talk about for like 2 minutes, I can get a beer, or I can end the show now, or your choice. Okay. Well, with the lack of response, I think I will end the show now.
It's all about choices.
Yeah, nobody made one.
I mean, I could keep talking for the next hour and bitch about how pissed off I am at Kickstarter right now, but hey.
Yeah. Well, Ben, do you have anything that's to entertain the boys for the next couple minutes?
Not that anyone really wants to hear.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, if someone's got something positive and uplifting to say about the way the game is right now and the way it's going, I'm all ears for it. Because I'd love for someone to tell me so. Because I love the game, and I'm just seeing I'm in a bad place right now.
I think you're going to
Cuttlefish asks, "What's our plan for armor for the raid halls?" And I covered it. I think before you popped in, I'm waiting for the Brexit Palooza. Which is similar to the Krampus that's happening next week. And I'm hoping something is going to drop at that point in time. So that's my hope. So, but I'm not putting anything on at this point in time.
I'm sitting in the same boat you are, Hefe. I'm waiting because they've been dropping the multiple armor that doesn't have repair on it, for the rest of the other cycles. So they better damn well drop it for this one.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I'm waiting on armor until the event.
Because you're either going to have to use D6s or you're going to have to go with that multi-armor. If you go with the multi-armor, that's old back from the charged era. and that's going to add some hefty ass repair time on the fleet.
Yeah, I mean, none of them are really good. I mean, none of them are really good options, the current armors. So, yeah, I'm waiting. I'm hoping something's coming out that's comparable. So, to the folded ferrite, which we haven't seen yet. So, alrighty. Well, if anybody doesn't have anything left, I will. Nah, not thinking D1 and D2. You can wait a week and do all sorts of other stuff, Cuttlefish. You don't need to start slapping armor on at this point. Wait till next week and figure out what's going on. So, alrighty. Well, I'm going to end the broadcast and see y'all on Friday. And we'll be in Bounty, and we'll be in VXP Weekend, and we'll be in TLC Dumb, and who else knows what's going to go on at that point in time?
Oh, and the mini rate of FM, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Well, FM happens. Yeah. Okay. All righty. I will see you all Friday then. A couple days.
Not everyone.
Later, people.
I didn't know.
Later, everyone.
Later.